Welcome to a deep dive into the Amazon. And I'm not just talking about the rainforest. Today we're going beyond what's familiar, I guess you could say, to explore the entire interconnected ecosystem, stretching all the way from the peaks of the Andes Mountains
Mhm.
to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. You might think you know the Amazon, but trust me, this incredible ecosystem still has plenty of surprises in store for us.
It certainly does. We often think of the Amazon as like a single entity,
Mm.
but it's actually a breathtaking mosaic of diverse ecosystems, each playing a unique and crucial role.
Exactly. And to guide us through this intricate web of life, we're turning to the Amazon Assessment Report 2021. Over 200 scientists from the region and around the world contributed to this report. So we're talking about a goldmine of reliable and up-to-date information.
What's remarkable is that this report goes beyond simply listing facts and figures. It highlights the interconnectedness of the Amazon, showing how these different ecosystems, as distinct as they may seem, are all woven together.
So let's start our journey at the very source, high in the Andes Mountains.
Imagine this: rugged peaks, thin air, extreme temperatures.
Hmm.
This is the Paramo. A high-altitude grassland with some of the most resilient plant life on Earth.
Resilient because these plants have had to adapt to some seriously harsh conditions.
Right, absolutely. Think intense sunlight, freezing nights, and thin soil. Many Paramo plants have developed unique features like a rosette form, where their leaves grow in a tight circle to conserve warmth and moisture. It's fascinating how life adapts.
It makes you realize that the Amazon story starts long before you reach the rainforest.
Precisely. As we descend from those windswept heights, we encounter the montane forests, shrouded in mist and incredibly rich in biodiversity. These forests act as a vital bridge, connecting Andean species to those of the Amazon basin.
And this is where the water that sustains the entire ecosystem begins its long journey.
Right, exactly. Imagine those rivers, starting as mere trickles high in the Andes, gaining momentum as they flow downwards, carving through the mountains, and eventually merging to form the mighty Amazon River.
It's like the veins and arteries of a giant living organism, pumping life throughout the entire ecosystem.
What's so captivating is how those rivers shape the landscape as they flow, creating a remarkable variety of ecosystems along the way. As we descend further, we encounter the lowland rainforests, often considered the heart of the Amazon. But even here, diversity reigns supreme.
We're not just talking about one type of rainforest, are we?
Not at all. Nestled within this vast expanse, you'll find pockets of white sand forests, growing on nutrient-poor soil. These forests might seem barren at first glance, but they hold a surprising secret: a high concentration of species found nowhere else on Earth.
It's like stumbling upon a hidden world within a hidden world, and it makes you wonder, how do those specialized ecosystems thrive?
That's where the concept of adaptation becomes even more critical. These white sand forests demonstrate that life finds a way, even in the most unexpected places.
Okay, so we've got towering mountains, misty cloud forests, and now these hidden pockets of white sand forests. What other surprises does the Amazon have in store for us as we venture further down those rivers?
Well, prepare to be amazed, because the Amazon doesn't stop at rainforests. As the land flattens out, we encounter vast savannas, often dotted with trees and crisscrossed by waterways. It's a different kind of beauty, with its own unique charm and ecological significance.
So it's not just an endless sea of green.
Not at all. Think of it as a tapestry woven with different shades of green, brown, and blue. These savannas are far from barren. They support a diverse array of plant and animal life, some of which have adapted to both flooded and dry conditions.
It sounds like the Amazon has mastered the art of ecological variety, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And we haven't even touched upon the wetlands yet, a critically important and often overlooked part of the Amazonian ecosystem. These wetlands, some of the most extensive on the planet, are teeming with life and play a crucial role in regulating water cycles and storing carbon.
We're talking about a whole hidden world beneath the surface, aren't we?
Exactly. And finally, as those rivers, now laden with nutrients and sediment, approach the Atlantic Ocean, we encounter one last, but certainly not least, ecosystem: the mangroves. This narrow band of salt-tolerant trees forms a vital buffer between land and sea.
Mangroves always make me think of tangled roots and hidden creatures. What makes them so important to the overall health of the Amazon?
They act as nurseries for countless fish and crustacean species, protect coastlines from erosion, and even help mitigate climate change by absorbing and storing vast amounts of carbon.
It's incredible how this journey from the Andes to the Atlantic has revealed such a diverse array of ecosystems. But I'm curious, what ties all these different pieces together? What's the common thread that makes the Amazon such a cohesive, yet incredibly complex system?
That's a great question. And it leads us to a fascinating and often overlooked aspect of the Amazon, the remarkable influence of soil.
Okay, so you might be thinking, soil. How could something as seemingly simple as dirt be a major player in shaping an ecosystem as grand as the Amazon?
It's a valid question. But the Amazon Assessment Report 2021 goes into great detail about how soil fertility, more than climate, shapes the forests and everything that lives within them.
What do you mean by soil fertility?
Well, it's a combination of factors: the age of the soil, its geological origin, and its nutrient content. Think of it like this. The western Amazon has soil that's relatively young and rich in nutrients, but those soils can be physically challenging for trees to root in.
So it's like those soils are a bit unpredictable.
Exactly. It leads to faster tree turnover. Trees grow quickly and die quickly, resulting in a lower overall biomass. The total amount of living organic matter in the forest.
That makes sense. You're basically saying that a lot of trees grow quickly but then don't last very long, so they don't create as much long-term material?
Precisely. It's a bit of a fast and furious environment. Now, the eastern Amazon is a different story. Those soils are older, less fertile, but they're more stable.
So it's like a slow and steady approach for the eastern Amazon.
Exactly. The trees grow more slowly, but they live longer. This results in forests with higher biomass and some truly giant trees. It's like a trade-off between a fast-growing, short-lived tree community in the west and a slower-growing, long-lived community in the east. But how does this soil difference impact the animals that live in those forests?
It's a great question. I bet it has a big impact.
It certainly does. It creates a cascading effect. For example, in the east, where the soil is less fertile, insect activity is much lower.
Interesting. So there are fewer bugs munching on the leaves.
Exactly. This affects herbivory rates, the amount of plant matter eaten by insects, and it even influences how plants defend themselves. Since there are fewer insects to eat their leaves, those slow-growing trees in the east don't have to invest as much energy in defenses.
It's like they're saying, we're slow and steady, we don't need to be as tough.
That's a great way to put it. And on the other side of the coin, the western Amazon, with its more fertile soil, has a higher abundance of fruit.
Okay, so more fruit means more. Monkeys.
Absolutely. Higher fruit production translates to greater primate diversity. It's all interconnected: the soil, the trees, the insects, the monkeys. It's amazing how everything in the Amazon works together in a delicate balance.
It really makes you appreciate the complexity of this ecosystem, doesn't it? It's not just about the trees, it's about the whole system working in harmony.
And that brings us to another mind-boggling aspect of the Amazon. It's sheer biodiversity. They estimate that there are about 16,000 different tree species in the Amazon, with a staggering 392 billion individual trees.
Hold on, 392 billion. That's more trees than people on Earth, and they're all different species.
That's right. It's incredible. And despite this diversity, a small number of species dominate the landscape, which we call hyperdominance.
Wait, so you're saying that despite having thousands of different tree species, just a handful of them make up the majority of the forest? That's kind of counterintuitive.
It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it? But the report highlights how a few specific species can be incredibly abundant. Take Eschweiler coriacea, for example. They estimate that there are over 4 billion individual trees of that species alone in the Amazon.
Wow, that's like a mega tree celebrity.
It's like they're the A-list of the Amazonian forest.
Yeah.
And then there are the palms, like Euterpe percatoria and Enocarpus patoa, each with billions of individuals. It's like they've cornered the market on being abundant.
So you've got these mega tree superstars, but what about the rest of the tree species? They must be pretty rare, right?
That's where the concept of hyperrarity comes into play. While we have these superstars, thousands of other species exist in incredibly low numbers. Some species have less than 5,000 individuals left in the entire Amazon. It's like a giant sprawling forest. But the rarer species are like needles in a haystack.
That's a real contrast, isn't it? You've got these mega abundant trees and then these other species barely clinging on. It's almost like a microcosm of our own world, with a few big corporations dominating the market while other smaller businesses struggle to survive.
It's an interesting parallel, and it highlights the fragility of the Amazonian ecosystem. If even one of those rare species disappears, the consequences for the overall system could be significant.
Wow. That's something to think about. So we've explored the surprising influence of soil, and we've touched on the incredible diversity, both in terms of abundant and rare species. What's next in our Amazonian exploration?
We've only just begun to unveil the secrets of the Amazon. The next part of our deep dive takes us into the heart of the ecosystem, the power of the flood pulse.
The flood pulse, what's that all about? It sounds like we're really about to, get into like the rhythm of the Amazon, the ebb and flow that shapes life in this incredible ecosystem.
Precisely. The flood pulse is the heartbeat of the Amazon. It's the annual rise and fall of water levels in the Amazon River and its tributaries. This natural cycle creates a unique environment where land and water are constantly interacting, shaping the lives of the plants and animals that call the Amazon home.
So it's not just a case of like wet or dry. It's about this dynamic pulse of water that influences everything.
Exactly. And it's not just the amount of water, but also the type of water that creates such diversity in the Amazon. You see, there are different types of rivers in the Amazon, each with its own character.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these different river personalities.
Well, you have the whitewater rivers, like the Amazon's main stem. They carry sediment and nutrients from the Andes, giving them a milky appearance. Then there are the clearwater rivers. They originate in ancient shields and have relatively low nutrient content. And finally, there are the blackwater rivers. Their dark color comes from the tannins released by decaying plant matter. Each river type creates its own unique environment, influencing the types of plants and animals that can thrive along its banks and floodplains.
It's amazing how something as seemingly simple as the color of the water can reveal so much about the ecosystem.
It's a testament to the interconnectedness of it all. Now, let's talk about one of the most fascinating relationships in the Amazon, the one between fish and forests.
I have a feeling this is where it gets really interesting. I've always pictured fish swimming in rivers and trees rooted firmly on land. What happens when those two worlds collide during the flood pulse?
During the flood season, when the water levels rise, the fish essentially gain access to an entire underwater forest. Imagine that. The flooded forests become their feeding grounds, providing them with fruits, seeds, insects, and other food sources that fall into the water.
Hold on. Fish eating fruit, that's not something you see every day.
It's a remarkable example of adaptation. The fish have evolved to take advantage of this seasonal bounty, and it's not a one-sided relationship. Those fish play a vital role in dispersing seeds throughout the flooded forest. They consume the fruits, swim to different areas, and then release the seeds in their droppings, helping to regenerate the forest.
So it's like a mutually beneficial partnership. The fish get a feast, and the trees get their seeds spread far and wide. It's a win-win situation. It really highlights the interconnectedness of this ecosystem.
It does.
Yeah.
And it underscores the importance of understanding these intricate relationships, especially in the face of a changing climate.
That's a good segue to the final part of our deep dive. The Amazon Assessment Report paints a complex picture of the Amazon's future, particularly in the context of climate change. What are some of the key takeaways from the report?
The report highlights the crucial role the Amazon plays as a carbon sink, absorbing more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere than it releases. This makes the Amazon a vital player in regulating global climate. However, deforestation, drought, and changing forest dynamics are putting that carbon sink at risk.
So it's like the Amazon is holding its breath, and we're not sure how much longer it can keep going.
That's a powerful image. And the reality is, there's a lot of uncertainty about how the Amazon will respond to these pressures. The report talks about increasing tree mortality rates in some areas and suggests that some forests are nearing their limits in terms of tolerating heat and drought stress.
It's a sobering thought, considering the Amazon's immense scale and importance.
It is. But amidst the uncertainty, the report also highlights the Amazon's resilience. There's evidence of adaptation and the potential for recovery, especially in areas with shallow water tables that act as buffers against drought.
So it's not a lost cause. There's still hope for the Amazon.
Absolutely. But hope is not enough. We need action. We need to protect the Amazon, not just for its own sake, but for the sake of the entire planet.
What can we do as individuals to make a difference? It all seems so daunting.
Knowledge is power. By understanding the intricate workings of the Amazon, we can make informed choices. We can support sustainable practices, reduce our carbon footprint, and advocate for policies that protect this vital ecosystem.
So this deep dive hasn't just been about exploring the wonders of the Amazon. It's also been a call to action.
Precisely. The Amazon is calling out to us, urging us to listen, to learn, and to act. Let's not ignore its call.
Well said. As we wrap up our deep dive into the Amazon, I'm left with a sense of awe at its complexity and concern for its future, but also a glimmer of hope, knowing that we can all play a part in ensuring its survival.
Remember, the Amazon's fate is our fate. Let's choose wisely.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Amazonian ecosystem. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking questions, because the more we know about our planet, the better equipped we are to protect it.